yeah, I would highly recommend it to anybody, because particularly in terms of architects, you know, we're trained in design. We're not trained in running a business or sales or things like that. Whereas with ActionCOACH, that's completely opened our eyes to that side of running a business. It was a lot more stressful. There was a lot of stress at that time, and I think that's what actually drove us to the point of going and getting in contact with Peter and having an initial chat with him to see if he could help us and what sort of fit it would be between us and him. So yeah, it was a tough time in the business. We had sort of got ourselves to a point where we were very busy, don't get me wrong, but we had a lot of staff, a lot of overheads, and there was the additional challenges that had brought to the scenario, and we needed sort of some help making our way through through the challenges. Yeah, for me at times it was a situation where you're just sort of thinking to yourself, nearly what's the point with all the stress that was on us at that point. And obviously the thought does creep into your head, should I just be safer going and getting a good job elsewhere and working for somebody else? But well, since we started working with Peter and that, I never wanted that to be the case. But thankfully, when we got introduced to Peter and ActionCOACH, and we've been working with him now probably coming up on 2 years maybe or so, that the thoughts of that completely dissipated, and I'm glad that we've stuck it out, and we're in a good position now. Yeah. Before we started working with Peter, it was a situation where you're sort of just reacting to what's happening every day. There was no real plan in place at all, and so obviously working with ActionCOACH and Peter, that's the key thing, that you're putting plans in place and you're working towards something. And there's also the accountability as well, which, and it's good to have somebody to bounce ideas off or bounce problems off and talk things through. I was terrible for bouncing about between different tasks, and because when you've got so many jobs on and so many clients, you know, you do find yourself that rather than focus on a task that you need to be doing, if you get an email or a phone call or whatever, or somebody comes through the door, you're bouncing around. Whereas what we're learning to do through ActionCOACH and Peter is to set ourselves tasks and timeframes for them tasks, and making sure that we're accountable for actually getting them done. And it also gives you a real peace of mind when you do get the tasks done. The biggest change for the business is really organisation, and putting systems in place that we didn't have before, which obviously then helps streamline the whole thing, make us more efficient, and in turn then take stress off. And that's the biggest thing, is that the business is now in a position, and we're in a position where we're not as stressed out as we would have been previously. Even though we've reduced in staff numbers in terms of resourcing, because we have them systems in place and because we have a plan in place, basically, yeah, the turnover is improving and increasing each year on year. Well, our turnover and profit, I would estimate, has gone up 25% since we've been working with Peter and ActionCOACH. That feels great. Yeah, it feels great. Even we've got 3 young kids, so even the family life is even better. We've more time to spend at home as well, and taking them to their different activities and things like that. Whereas previously, you were working Saturdays and Sundays, and you didn't really have a work-life balance at all. So that's not a big plus with it as well. Yeah, I can see previously, as I say, it was just you were sort of head down in the challenges of every day, whereas now you've sort of got your head up and you're looking forward and you're making a plan and you're trying to work towards something. So it's much more exciting, yeah.